whatever your bank niche fetish is, it's going to be there.
Yeah, of course. Where Balabook is going is, I think, where all AI systems or all intelligent systems send them professional-looking invoices.
Branded professional-looking invoices, very important.
Yes.
Being based on cloud means that the maintenance and the update are done instantly, smarter, safer, and quicker, and more efficient, because these features, they're being developed from that vision.
Balabook has a very complete and powerful reporting engine.
So Ziruna, I think we've done an episode where we were discussing about the why and the story behind Balabook. You know, you mentioned that we wanted to create this bridge and remove the anxiety between business owners and accountancy. But I think it's also fair that we get a bit more nitty-gritty into, for example, how do we use it on a daily basis? Because it started as a project that we wanted to fix our accountancy problems, our financial transparency problems in terms of seeing how the companies were doing and everything. So what does the average day of a Balabook user looks like? I think it's important that we because for us it's a given, but how is it?
Look, the 95% of the time you will be using Balabook. The reality is you will be just doing the stuff you would have been doing anyway in the course of operating your business. So, for example, hopefully you're selling every day or every other day. You need to invoice people. Balabook has a very robust invoicing tool built in, available for business owners. You can invoice in any currency in the world. You can maintain your partners, as we call them, whether they're customers or vendors, and send them professional-looking invoices.
Branded professional-looking invoices, very important.
Yes, you can customize your invoices with your brand. And send them by email, send reminders to those invoices, make sure you get paid.
Yeah.
You know, there's a statistic, I always misquote, but essentially, you know, the majority of people actually don't mind paying their invoices, but most invoices are late in terms of actually being settled. And the reality is because people are not invoiced on time, because the majority of, especially smaller business owners and small businesses, don't invoice quickly enough. They just either forget to invoice, or they invoice late, or they forget that they have an invoice to collect payment on. And
they forget what's due, basically.
Yeah, and Balabook gives you a very, very simple way to invoice people, get the invoice in front of them, remind them, but also remind you that you've got money to collect.
Yeah, it's true, because one of the first things that you see in the Balabook dashboard is the money in, money out, right?
Exactly.
What's due. And when you go into the invoice feature, you can see everything in there. You can search, you can tidy up. It honestly takes seconds. And one of the favorite things that I like to do with Balabook, because I'm a lazy person, is I create templates, basically, right? So a lot of my clients, we sell 3-4 things, you know, brand strategy, brand identity, activation, coaching time, you know, kind of differences, things that we sell. So I have them all locked up with the rate and the description and everything. When I go into the invoice, I select the partner, I select the pre-filled service that we sold. There is goods and services that we also go into it a bit later, and it's done in seconds. Or when I'm extra lazy, and some of our clients, we give them recurring services, just one click, duplicate from last month and send. Job done.
Exactly. Invoicing is one of those things that you need to be doing. Like you will not get paid unless you invoice people, right? Yeah. So Balabook makes that pretty simple. Yeah. It's in similar fashion to invoices, other kind of documents that are related that you might need to do. Either enter transactions that you've sold on another platform. Like if you're not invoicing through Balabook, you might be selling stuff through an online shop that it does its own invoicing. Balabook makes it incredibly easy to integrate with those platforms and basically get the information about invoices you've issued externally. And get Balabook to know about those. it has these sort of day-to-day sort of sales operation completely taken care of for you.
And credit notes as well in case there's a mistake or a change or something like that. And also tell me why is important to start separating from the invoice point of view if it's a service or a good what you sold.
Without getting too technical, essentially, it usually is more relevant when you start talking about things like compliance requirements, like your VAT report every 3 months.
Yeah.
So there are, like, the VAT report wants a sort of mystery / black magic kind of
horror movie, I think
report
I would say.
that needs multiple professionals to kind of decipher and figure out. Well, Balabook, by just collecting some basic information about your
day-to-day operations,
it can basically classify your invoice into sort of the right, like, give it the right treatment so that you can then easily create the your VAT return when the time comes, and
because it comes out pre-filled.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So also the VAT is been one of the journeys that we try to basically facilitate. And what else? Like, if we go one layer deeper, after invoices, what do you think was one of those features that really excited us?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say excited, but it's definitely one of those features you have to do even more constantly than invoices, which is basically expensing stuff, buying stuff on the business. And there's nothing exciting about that. There's literally nothing exciting.
You get excited when you buy new tech, though.
I mean, fair enough, but I'll tell you what I'm not excited about. I'm not excited about when the accountant calls and is chasing for an invoice or a receipt that I forgot that I had.
Zinon asks, what is this Clavenides 3,500 euros? Where is it going?
Well, I mean, the reality is that most people buy stuff and then try to keep the receipts either filed in like manual folders, thinking that they have to keep it in a physical form. They don't. Like, that stuff has been like going paperless has been a thing for at least the last decade. You don't have to keep physical copies of everything. And with a tool like Balabook, one of the most common things you would do every day, which is buy things with your business, whether it's goods or purchasing goods or services in order to actually operate, or day-to-day sort of transactions in the course of doing business, you can basically do all of your expenses just by in the most simplest way, just by taking a photo using the mobile app on your phone. Balabook's AI will basically understand the context of that expense. It will look at your accounts. It will look at, as we call it, the chart of accounts and how you typically expense similar receipts, and apply, basically account for it in the right way. Your accountant will immediately know that you've done that. They will also have a copy of the receipt itself. So from a compliance point of view, you're done. Your job of purchasing something for the business ends when you actually take that photo with your phone.
And finger crossed, if you ever get audited, it's also all there. Like, because there is another component that makes life easier in Balabook is the auditing part as well. I mean,
that's when you need to actually find stuff during the annual audit that every business has to go through. One of the most common things that happens is accountants, auditors will come and start requesting a bunch of proof for the different expenses you've submitted to them or you've claimed from them.
And instead of licking your fingers and going through pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages.
With Balabook's really, really powerful search engine, you can find any expense alongside its documentation in a matter of seconds. Like you only have to remember very basic information about what that thing is.
Who you purchased it with, what time was it, the price,
what
perhaps?
was it? Yeah, like exactly. And you'll be able to basically have that in a matter of seconds. So
I remember when my age started to show, and this year we made two important purchases: the standing desk and the chair. And when I wanted, because I was trying your chair and I really liked it, and I wanted to buy exactly the same, but you didn't remember where and when and how much. So what I've done is, like, I went into Balabook, I went into the purchases, I started to search it by different parameters, and I found it immediately. I downloaded that proof, gave it to our assistant, and I said, I want the same chair. Just as an example, it was not a detective work. It was just a matter of seconds, because everything is digitalized in there. And then I remember when we were building the reports as well. Obviously, I think if you are tapping into the world of accounting, reports are super important.
Yeah, I mean, Balabook will give you access to all of the standard reports that you want as a business owner or as an accountant. Whether it's looking at your ledger, which is the report where all of the financial transactions of the business will show up in their respective accounts, or your balance sheet, which shows the current state of your business finances, trial balance, your profit and loss reports, any kind of analysis that you want to do on those reports, figure out who owes you money, and so on. Any expenses you have outgoing. Balabook has a very complete and powerful reporting engine that brings the data out and at your fingertips in any format. Like, you can use, obviously, Balabook's intuitive user interface that allows you to search, sort, find anything within those reports that you need. Or if you prefer to download a PDF to send it off to somebody, or an Excel spreadsheet, so that you can do any kind of further analysis on your own, if that's something that you need to do. We've got all that covered.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I just realized, I don't know why it came to mind now, when we were talking about the invoices, is the automatic currency exchange. I always loved that, because we have what do we have usually? We have USA, UK, and Euro, isn't it? In our average invoices, and that tiny little cell in the invoice that tells you invoiced on these pounds, which equals to this euro, with the automatic conversion of the day, I think it's super useful as well. Because ultimately that will have to happen anyway in the background, right? Someone will have to go there and do the foreign exchange loss and gains, right?
Yeah. So when you're as a business, when you're purchasing or selling something in a foreign currency, the accounting has to be kept, or has to be done, in your company's native currency, in the currency that you keep your accounts and report your accounts in. However, you are allowed to trade and do business in any currency in the world,
which is vital for Cyprus.
If you're selling to somebody in pounds, you want to know how much they owe you in pounds. Like, it doesn't matter how much they owe you in euros, because you've made an agreement with that person to trade in pound sterling. Well, Balabook gives you both views seamlessly. You don't have to think about it. You're invoicing that person in pounds. You know how much they owe you in pounds. You know any statements you wish to exchange with them automatically, any sort of information is all done in the currency that you're trading with that person. And Balabook completely handles that seamlessly. But on the back end, Balabook automatically handles all of the conversion using basically the European Central Bank's daily rates to automatically convert that and let you know of your exposure, because there is an exposure. Every time you make the choice as a business in Cyprus trading in euros to sell something or buy something in British pounds, you're essentially accepting a risk that currency might fluctuate. And with most systems, especially in this day and age, unfortunately, you're never sure about that exposure until the very last minute. So one of the really cool things that Balabook does is it lets you know of your exposure to that foreign currency fluctuation. Because yes, your books are updated to show any realized loss or gain when you actually settle any debt, but you're unaware of that exposure until the very last moment. With most solutions, certainly the manual solutions, but with Balabook, you can know what is your potential exposure. So if you know that, for example, the pound's moving the wrong way, and you have a debt to pay in pounds, or you have an invoice that you've sold in pounds and the pound's moving the wrong way, you will know and be notified essentially by Balabook, so that you can potentially take action and know that when you're looking at a Balabook balance sheet, you can know the true exposure of your business to fluctuations like your profit and loss. You will know your true position rather than the position you might think you might have.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, since we started our business with factory and the other things after COVID and everything, like one thing that we noticed being consistent in this couple of years is inconsistency. Like, so how much the market fluctuates and how quickly things go up and down, right? So definitely, I think it's important if you're running an international business from Cyprus to have that ability real time to know, okay, I invoiced XYZ. What is the XYZ in my books in euro, right? In the currency I'm operating, which then takes us also to another really important workflow we invested quite a lot, which is also bank recon as well, right? So because like my mind went immediately, okay, when we are operating in a currency that is not our native one, we use Revolut. Right, so it's important also that's connected to the bank. And again, from the accountancy, from the bookkeeping point of view, it's a massive pain. Reconciliation.
Look, the reconciliation is simply the process of making sure that what you think is happening in your bank account, that the bank also agrees that that's what's actually happening. Now, bank reconciliation in Balabook is you kind of flipped it on its head in a way that. Typically, what happens when someone does a manual bank reconciliation is they basically get the bank statement and then work backwards and kind of figure out, okay, do I have this entry in my books? Do my books basically agree with the bank?
Yeah.
Now, what we did with Balabook was because we wanted to kind of leverage these technology and the ability to kind of integrate with the banks. We've basically made it so that with your authorization, Balabook can contact your bank and basically retrieve your transactions on a daily basis, which will allow it to now take those transactions, automatically match them to what you have in your system, but also allow it to any transactions you do not have in your system because you didn't enter them yet or whatever, to give you in very, very few clicks the ability to enter them with very minimal work. And it will also take care of any currency conversions because we don't handle bank connections in euro with Cypriot banks. In fact, Balabook supports over 2,500 banks globally.
Whatever your bank niche fetish is, it's going to be there.
Yeah, of course. And this integration will allow Balabook to essentially take the information from your bank, match it to your transactions, and give you in just a few clicks the ability to enter any transactions that are missing.
Yeah. And which I think it's a no-brainer for everyone involved, right? So there is no manual work from the bookkeepers because the alternative is literally having two pieces of paper and going line by line. Or I remember when we were researching that and we were going to see how the people in the business were doing it, like two screens and trying to match things, which again like so inefficient. And the other thing that we always wanted to build from the let's say a toolkit of feature was simplifying the life for accountants as well. Because like I think what is interesting about Balabook is what you mentioned is this bridge between accountancy and businesses, right? We talked about it this previously as well. But from the daily life of an accountant, then I guess what I want to go is like, what do we know of how accountants are currently operating Simera in Cyprus. What is going on into their work life, and what have we learned with our research?
Look, the reality is the majority of accounting offices, especially if they're focusing on supporting small to medium businesses, is that they spend their time manually exchanging information with their clients, whether it's receipts or documents or transactions, and then on a regular cadence, they handle each one of those businesses in order to either enter their data and do and produce the kind of compliance requirement, the reports, like whether it's the VAT returns or the sort of monthly payroll returns and so on. The reality is that accountants spend most of their time doing manual work in these sort of cases. I'm not referring to the sort of audit process, which is a completely different sort of area of the industry, but purely referring to the bookkeeping side of the accounting business. Now, with accountants, one of the major struggles is when they're entering information is context. What am I looking at? Where does it go? Who spent it? Where is the receipt for this thing? Can I see? Is it entered in the right account? Has the VAT been accounted for it properly? And because Balabook aims to build this collaborative relationship with the accountant and the business owner, think of Balabook as Google Docs for accounting. It is not a platform that separates the accountant from the business owners or the businesses, not necessarily just the business owner. It is a platform built to help them collaborate.
It's a partnership facilitator.
Exactly. If the business owner is using Balabook to invoice their customers and also store their expenses, then why should the accountant have to replicate that work? They already have the invoices and they already have the expenses in Balabook. They can focus on doing their job, which is to make sure that data is where it should be. Also, Balabook makes it really easy to handle lots and lots of customers, because we do have specific sections within Balabook, specific dashboards for accountants that allow you to kind of onboard client companies easily, manage your team, find a customer really quickly, and get information about when was the last time, for example, that you've done any work with them on their company. That is, I think, one of the strong points where you kind of get prompted, perhaps I need to pay attention to this customer because there are due things that I need to take care of. So it also serves as a I wouldn't call it necessarily a CRM, but it definitely complements.
It's massively easier than being an accountancy with 400, 500 clients and operating on Balabook, because it's there. Like, it's one screen, right? One screen, one page. You go through all the different accountants. You have the different subscription. You have different ways you can interact with your customer, right? It's like it's super facilitated. And another interesting thing about Balabook is that, like, being based on cloud means that the maintenance and the update are done instantly, right? So the accountant's office will go to sleep on Friday night, and on Monday there will be a new update, a new requirement, which is important because also lately things have been changed for the accounting in Cyprus as well. There are new regulations, there are new things that need to happen more often, and so it's important that our features also follow up that, no?
Yeah, correct. Like, for example, just last month, I believe, we've also released our new IR7 functionality
Which
for
that
payroll.
was a change, isn't it?
Yeah, like the tax department has mandated that instead of filing an annual, the IR7 is essentially the tax return for the pay-as-you-earn system, which is the sort of reporting that employers do every month.
Yeah.
That to essentially report the earnings of their employees, right? All employers every month deduct a certain amount of money from each employee in order to pay in advance that money to the tax department for income tax purposes.
Yeah.
In the past, all businesses used to simply pay an amount to the tax department and then submit the IR7, as it is referred to, form at the end of the year, reporting everybody's earnings essentially. What they have done now, and the new regulation is that IR7 that was a big form that you'd submitted every year. Now the tax department mandates that you should submit it every month.
Yeah. And how does a traditional accountancy deals with that, and how does an accountancy on Balabook deals with that?
Accountants are they can either manually prepare the IR7 or try and get reports from that from their different payroll systems that they might do in order to prepare the form and so on. If you're on Balabook, you don't really have to do anything. Like the way it works at the moment is once you create what we call a pay run. So once you pay employees, one of the things that Balabook is really nice because it gives you a nice to-do list of things that you need to do.
Yeah,
once you pay, once you do the monthly pay run, it basically says, what do you have to do? You have to pay your employees. That's step one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once you pay your employees, next step, for example, might be to submit your social insurance return, which is another thing the Balabook automates. As part of that, it also reminds you that you need to submit your IR7 return, which is now a monthly requirement.
As if accountants needed more chores, isn't it?
Well, with Balabook though, all you have to do is in that to-do list. What Balabook does is it basically gives you the IR7 ready, pre-prepared.
Brilliant.
You can just download it and upload it onto the the tax for all system, which is the system that the tax department uses. You can just upload your form there. No interventions necessary. You just get it from Balabook and give it to the tax department. You can pay your dues or your employees' dues, and job's done. Like you don't have to think about it that much. So it is a new sort of admin process, long, difficult, scary to an extent that the tax department sort of introduced. And Balabook completely eliminates any sort of concerns you might need to have about that.
Feature-wise, I think we had a long journey, right? Because we started with the research, then we talked about with accountants. You know, there's constantly new things that are getting implemented. But if you had to pick which are and if you were an accountant, right? And we do that exercise every day, right? Like wearing the shoes of our clients, whether it's either accountancy or business owner. From the accounting perspective, what are those things that make Balabook a no-brainer for an accounting firm in Cyprus then?
For me, it's the ability to collaborate with your partners. Mm-hmm. One of the most revolutionary things, I think, in online collaboration tools that happened in the last 10, 15 years was the live collaboration in documents that we had with Google Docs and so on, where you could basically work on the same documents together. Yeah. And that's what Balabook aims to bring that's what Balabook aims to be between accountants and businesses. And by being able to look at the same data, operate on the same system, and extract the information that you need, each for their own role, I think that's but at the same time, the data supporting each other. Yeah. That's where the big efficiencies come. The big efficiency is when an accountant doesn't need to do bookkeeping because the business owner has used their phone and taken photos of their receipts and invoices, and they now have it ready in their system. They don't have to exchange that information either by like the shoebox receipts way, or by emails and sending PDFs over, or by sending invoices over and so on. Like it becomes this sort of platform where they can basically collaborate and both leverage the efficiencies. For me, that's what makes Balabook a no-brainer.
Yeah, and in terms of there is a lot of talk about AI as well, right? So, and I think we have a clear vision, we have a clear path, and we discussed with many accountants as well. And I think there is still a bit of a friction now in between mindset and well, I know the answer, but I think it's important that we discuss it. What's our vision then in terms of accounting and AI?
Look, accounting. Well, AI in accounting is a huge topic, all on its own. Balabook is leveraging it currently in two big ways. One is the ability to understand or use the context provided by having access to all of your company's financial data in order to make the best decision possible when it comes to automating the accounting of new information.
Yeah.
Whether it is scanning a receipt and understanding how to account for it, scanning an invoice and knowing how to account for it, whether it is seeing things show up on your bank statement and knowing how to account for it. That's one of the big ways, basically helping us make automated decisions about new information that needs to come into our system. Mm-hmm. That's one of the big ways that Balabook is using it, and we're using it extensively to achieve that. And it's also leveraging AI for what it's really good at, which is like figuring out patterns and understanding sort of the patterns in essentially text, really. Now, the second area that we're focusing big on at the moment is allowing AI to be a good front end. I like this description of AI, which is like the current LLMs they're not necessarily intelligent in their ability to think, but they're intelligent in their ability to be a front end to explain and give you a better understanding of a lot of data in the back end. So Balabook is able to use modern, like the AI that we have accessible today, to provide insights and meaning and give meaning to a bunch of financial data that you might otherwise not understand and not able to get any value out of as a normal person.
Yeah, or unless going through it and just really struggling and like reading for a long time, documenting yourself. But it's that type of data that is not for everyone. That's the reality.
Exactly. But that's today. That's technology that we have today.
Yeah.
Where Balabook is going is, I think, where all AI systems or all intelligence systems are going to move into the future, where we leverage Balabook as the hub of your financial information for your business, and have Balabook basically be able to share that, should you want, with other AI systems.
Yeah.
Using sort of leveraging the sort of more agentic form of AI, where you can now start having the Balabook agent, let's call it, take initiative, like start giving it initiative on your behalf, and leveraging Balabook's integrations with many other systems, but as well with other AIs from other systems you might use today, in order to provide even more automated, or even more efficiency and even more automation into getting better insight by doing less work.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think in that topic in AI we're like literally just scratching the surface. No one really knows exactly where it will go. But I think as Balabook, our purpose is to help people spend less time on accounting. So I think the vision will always be there, like smaller, more efficient, more agile, more collaborative accounting firms, more up to date, better performing businesses. That's the reality. And I think what's in the middle will be AI. And I think to conclude, one thing is which is super important about Balabook. We always say smarter, safer, and quicker. It is smarter. It is safer because the data is encrypted. It is safer because it's been developed in a compliant way with teams in Cyprus that chew accounting every day. So it's been done that way as well, and more efficient because these features. They're being developed from that vision, spending less time on accountancy, whether you're an accountant struggling with 500 clients and a team, or whether you're a business that wants to, you're in a business trip in Curacao, you want to open your phone and say exactly how today we're doing.
I think you touched on a topic that's another really big topic, but security, and security always is a compromise, right? Like you up the security, you remove functionality. So what we did in Balabook is really tried to strike a very strong balance between security and features.
Yeah,
I think we hit the nail spot on with what we did, because Balabook is your data in Balabook is completely isolated from any other business. Balabook goes without saying that all of the data in Balabook is fully encrypted, both in transit and at rest, in servers with the latest ISO safety standards, in Europe, of course. We also made sure to provide tools like two-factor authentication and sort of
different access levels in the team as well.
Different permission levels for different users of Balabook and so on. We made sure that was built in from the start, because you really, like, we are really the gatekeepers of some of the most sensitive data for businesses that trust us.
So are the others developed 20 years ago, though, without going and doing a name dropping, but we looked into that can be scary, huh?
To be fair, when those tools were built, security was not a concern, right? Like encryption was not a thing 20 years ago. Encrypted things like encrypting passwords and two-factor authentication and things like that were not a concern 20 years ago. So the reality is, I don't blame any of those tools.
No, they are now, and I think because of, again, our privileged position of working with some of the biggest organizations in the world, we took those best practices into Balabook as well.
Yeah.
Good way to end up. See you next time.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.